slice of wisdom, a concept, a sentiment, a theory, and maybe even a rant from one of your industry colleagues. For the Record.
Hey, welcome to For the Record, episode 35. Carm Capriato here, and in just a few seconds, Aaron Shaffer, who is the Director of Product and Marketing with KYB, offers his strong opinion on using premium products for repairs, and he tells you why. Hey, do you know that low car count doesn't have to mean low revenue? There's a low-cost way to increase efficiency and profit. FlexCheck Auto Digital Vehicle Inspection Software. Now, it's proven time and again, savvy shop owners know that when you check every car, every time, more sales opportunities are created. Now, FlexCheck Auto takes the power of that inspection and puts it in the palm of your hand. Try it for free for 30 days. Go to FlexCheckAuto.com to learn more. Hey, it's so cool to have you here and engaged with your fellow automotive aftermarket colleagues. And the For the Record podcast is such a great way to hear short opinions from your aftermarket colleagues. It's a perfect forum to toss out different think. Now, Aaron Shaffer is all over the premium versus value parts offering. As technology advances at breakneck speed, the parts that perform their role in the new safety systems must perform like OE. Now, he says we're telling the wrong story to the customer as it relates to premium versus value lines. Find Aaron's talking points and links to his previous episodes on the show notes page at remarkableresults.biz/F035. Hey, you know, the views and opinions expressed are those of my guest and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the author, sponsors, associates, or affiliates of LSTN Media LLC. Now, Aaron Shaffer, For the Record.
This is Aaron Shaffer. Now, I spend an awful lot of time in shops, and I like to listen and hear what service providers are telling the motorist. And one of the things that I hear all the time that drives me nuts when they're talking to the motorist about why they should choose a premium part over a value line, so many service providers and service writers just default to, oh, well, it'll last longer. And I think that's 100% the wrong approach. We can't make assumptions on how long people are going to keep their vehicle, and we can't assume that's what's most important to them. The reality is that the justification or the reason someone should select a premium part is all about the performance of the part on that vehicle and how that part will work to keep the vehicle operating as the manufacturer intended, right? So it's about on-vehicle performance. New vehicle manufacturers spend hundreds of millions of dollars designing and developing new vehicles. And although they might seem overly complicated to us, the reality is these vehicles work pretty well, and they have some amazing electronic add-ons and safety systems. But what we need to remember is that these electronic safety systems, as great as they are, and as well as they work to keep the motorist safe, they still rely on mechanical components. They still rely on steering, suspensions, tires, and brakes to keep these electronic safety systems working, right? So you can have the most advanced electronic stability control on a vehicle, or a newer vehicle with automated braking, or heck, maybe even a vehicle that drives itself. But think about what happens to the performance of those systems if you're putting on parts that are less than what OE intended to be fit on that vehicle, right? If you're putting on inexpensive or value line tires or value line brake pads, will that automated braking system work exactly as designed? Will the vehicle stop as quick as it was intended to? No. And I think that's the real question and the real topic that we need to be talking to the motorist about. In speaking about the mechanical components, like the steering, suspensions, tires, and brakes, and how important these are to keeping the vehicle operating, think about what happens not just as they wear individually, but what happens when all four of these things start to wear in total. If you have a vehicle that's brand new, it's going to keep the motorist in control. The electronic add-ons are going to work pretty well. And if you can imagine you have a vehicle with brand new everything, but just worn tires, how well is that going to work? It's going to be okay, but you're going to have some issues, and it may start to put the motorist at risk. What really starts to happen, especially as people get into the habit of using value line parts and not replacing parts as they wear, is now you end up with a vehicle that has many worn components, and those start to compound and adversely affect the performance of the vehicle, and the electronic safety systems just aren't able to do their job. So now, instead of having a vehicle with brand new everything and just worn tires, you may have a vehicle with worn tires, brakes on it that have a different friction coefficient than what OE intended, because someone chose a value line pad, worn parts in the steering and suspension, or maybe the customer opted for a value line shock absorber that doesn't have the correct damping for that particular vehicle. And when you start to compound all of those things, the difference in performance on that vehicle compared to what it could be, what it's supposed to be, what the manufacturer intended, to what it is huge. So I think what we need to start talking to the motorist about is just the performance of parts, and how the performance of the part is related to the overall system. And to keep that whole steering system working as designed, or to keep the whole braking system working as designed, we are going to need to replace parts. And we're going to need to use premium parts so that everything in that brake system works the way OE intended. And that will then allow the ABS, the electronic stability control, the automated braking to work as the vehicle manufacturer intended. So in closing, all I'd really like to say to you guys is it's not just about how long parts are going to last, but it's really about what's best for the motorist, what's best for their family, and what's going to keep their vehicle operating as intended. This was Aaron Shaffer for the record.
Thanks for listening to For the Record from Remarkable Results Radio. Subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast listening app. Find all Remarkable Results podcast content at remarkableresults.biz.